groupies, it's Demo Donna here with Sparkle and Sprinkle, and I am coming to you from beautiful Jackson Hole, Wyoming, with the Tetons in the background, bringing you this month's Video Kit Club. Enjoy! Hello everybody, and here is our fantastic, well, I guess that's bragging a little bit, but I really love the way this turned out, and I did a little scrap lifting from one of our amazing designers, Belinda, and this is an adorable stamp set that we're going to be using, and this is Dreamcatcher Maiden, really beautifully done by Lacey Sunshine as the designer, and she also designed beautiful digital papers. I mean, look at all the different background, like all the different filters on these beautiful backgrounds. I just love them. And in this month's Video Kit Club, you're going to be receiving 5 of the different backgrounds for your cards. So all 5 of your cards are going to be different and unique, which kind of is like a dream catcher, so that works out quite perfectly. And we are going to be using Gilding Flakes, which I really love. It's a lot of fun. These are the Nuvo Gilding Flakes Silver, and you're going to be getting a sample of those in your video kit. This is exciting. We are going to be receiving 4 of the crystal drops, the glitter ones. We have never used the colored glitter drops, the crystal drops, in one of our video kit clubs. So, you know, go big or go home. So we're sending you 4 of them, which is going to be really, I'm going to show you a couple different techniques on how to use those. And then we're also going to be using the medium glue pen, which is included in your kit, and digital stamping. Once again, if you haven't worked with digital stamps before, a really big indicator, well, not only that you can get it pre-colored so you don't have to go in all the detailing if coloring is not your strong suit or you're in a rush. Using digital stamps is a lot of fun. So this is a great example of one of the many benefits of digital stamping is you can change the size. So I've got my rubber stamp here, which is really large, and I actually changed my design to be smaller for this card. And then my actual saying that we're using, Follow Your Dreams, is a very small stamp. You can see it right there. And I enlarged it for our card front. So there are a few examples on what makes digital stamping so cool. Also, I custom sized all of the background papers to fit. And like I said, you're gonna receive 5 different ones. And I believe there's 7 or 8. Oh, there's 10. There's 10 different. So if you order the digital paper, and I'll throw up the number now, there are 10 different backgrounds, which is amazing. There's a really cool one that we're going to be using just a piece of, but this is like the black and white negative of it, and that's what we're using for our border of that same background. So if you've never worked with digital papers, you just put them onto your screen and then you print them out. It's pretty simple. If I can do it, I feel like the entire universe can do it because I am not tech savvy. I'm also getting my rings cleaned, so I'm still married. I just don't have any rings on today. All right, let's get started, guys. And hope you've all had a wonderful summer. I have. I've been traveling, so sorry the videos have not been everywhere. Okay, what we're going to do to get started is I am going to take my actual card here, and we're doing a gray card base for this month's Video Kit Club, and I'm going to be using my first glitter crystal drop, and this is Dazzling Blue, and I'm just going to go on 2 corners and squeeze that out. So I just did a line, very messy line. It does not have to be pretty. We are just going to be making a glitter background. And I totally left my brush out to dry and harden, so excuse me while I squish it on my paper to soften it up again. And we're just creating a fun little background. You're still going to see the cool blue paper, and then you're just going to see some glitter specks through it. So I'm just blotting. Sorry, it helps if you guys can see. There you go. I am just blotting my brush to kind of move the glitter paint around. Not the glitter paint, but the crystal drop. And then doing the same. We're going to be doing all 4 sides. So I'm really just pushing my paintbrush on there, giving it some texture as well as the glitter. is going to be really pretty. And that when all of the crystal drops, the glitter ones, are wet, they have more of like a milky consistency. They're not super clear. And then when they're dry, they're clear. Now that I've done the 2 borders, I'm going to finish up with my other 2. And the reason you want to do 2 at a time, or maybe even 1, is they dry really fast. So the first card sample that I made, I put the crystal drops down on all 4 corners, and then by the time I got to the last one, it had started drying already. So it had a thicker row of glitter versus the rest of it, if that makes sense. So do it in sections, and then you will have a nice wet medium to work with versus a dry line, like how the crystal drop wants to dry. So once we are done with this part, which is almost happening, we're going to set this aside and let it dry right now. So that's good. And we're just going to be showing about 1/4 of an inch on all edges. So what might look sloppy and weird and messy, when we cover this up, you're not even notice. You're just going to see this really cool glittery background. Set that aside, rinse your brush right away, like I didn't do the first time. And now we are going to start to work on our background, our little border with our saying on it. So this was really, it's a fun technique. This is our background digital paper, the digital paper. And then what I did is I took our digital stamp and I layered it on top of the digital paper. So I was able to manipulate the size of it. I could put it wherever I want on the paper. Here's another great example, sorry, it's still in the baggie, of the card that I did a little scrap lifting from our amazing designer. And she did the same thing. And this is another one of the backgrounds in that digital paper collection. So as you can see, it's much larger than the regular stamp. And what I'm gonna do first is a technique where I'm going to take the actual rubber stamp. So in this month's Video Kit Club, not only are you receiving all these pre-printed digital stamps, you're also receiving the rubber stamp kit, which is really great. So what I'm going to do first, not first because we already did that, but next what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that gold, that silver leafing technique with the foil. And so I'm going to take a couple of the feathers on my stamp. So I'm going to take, I'll show you from here. I'm going to take these 2 feathers here and I'm going to glue them and I'm going to stamp them around my border down here. So it's just these 2 large feathers here. They're nice and separated. They're not covered by her hair. So that's why I decided to use those 2 feathers. And it's just a background. So if you get a little adhesive, I'm going to use the Nuvo Medium glue pen. This is a tacky glue, and this is going to come in your kit this month. So to activate it, you just pump it up and down, and then when you see the light blue adhesive go into the top of the pen, then you're ready to go. And I'm just going to cover that, just my little feathers, and then I'm going to stamp. So I'm going to do a little there, and I just have a scrap piece of computer paper because I don't want to get this adhesive all over my mat and have to stop and clean it. So repeat after each time you stamp it. Repeat with the adhesive. So I'm going to stamp again, and then I'm going to do about 3 more. And I have been asked in the past about their paper ripping. What happens if your paper is ripping is the glue is dried onto your stamp. So when you push your stamp down and peel it up, the glue is dried, so it's gluing itself to the stamp. So what you want to make sure is after you're done with this process, you thoroughly clean your stamp up. And plus you always want to wait a little bit of time for your adhesive to dry before you add the foiling. So I just stamped it about 4 times. You can't really see it because it's clear, but you're going to see it when we put the beautiful gilding flakes on it. I'm going to set that down. We're going to let that dry. I'm just going to grab a little wipe and clean my stamp. I normally wait till I'm done filming, but I really love this stamp and I don't want it to get all gooey, so I'm just going to clean that section off, and then I am good to go. And I'm just using a little alcohol wipe, which cleans up really nice. And that is all of the stamping we're going to do. Isn't that crazy? Because everything else I pre-laid out for you with your digital stamps. Okay, so because these pens are so awesome and have this nice straight tip, I'm going to go ahead and do a border. So I'm just going to draw my 4 borders. And this is like a mixed medium look, so if you're not great at drawing the straightest line, don't worry. And I'm not going to do the top. I'm going to leave the top open. So I have adhesive on the left and right side and along the bottom side, just a straight line. You'll be able to see all of this once we add the gilding flakes momentarily. So like I said, you will be receiving a small amount of gilding flakes in this month's kit. If you absolutely love them, I highly recommend getting one of the larger jars, because then you can use it on all sorts of different craft projects. If you've never used the gilding flakes before, pardon my dog, all you do is grab a couple and just kind of rub them around. You just want to get them nice and adhered before you rub them off with your brush. I also, because I really love gilding flakes and I use them a lot, I have my Tupperware containers filled with them. So I have a silver one, and I have a gold one, and I have one with the copper, and then I have a mixed. So all of these goodies can be used again. And like I said, when you do it in a little Tupperware, it keeps all of these little guys from going all over the place. So I'm going to grab my Tupperware right here and throw all that back in there so it's not flying all over the place during the video. All right, we are going to do this. Just kidding. They all kind of flew all over the place anyways because it's on a coffee filter. Okay, now I'm going to take these chunks. I'm going to take my stiff brush. This is a really nice tool. If you haven't used this one before, it's really great blending, working with the mousse. It's really great to do backgrounds, and of course with the gilding flakes like we're doing here. So I'm just doing a medium pressure, and I'm like rubbing around my page. And my background paper was kind of sticky because I used that as my mat. So now you see I've got that leaf stamped a couple of times, and I've got the border. So that now makes it easier to see where I stamped and how I stamped. We're gonna do this, clean all that guy up, and this is ready to go. So we're gonna set that aside. Next, I'm gonna pick my background. I think we're gonna do, I really like this sunset looking one. This one's really pretty. I used that for my sample too. I really love this one as well. That is such a beautiful, those colors. Ah! Okay, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna take again the beautiful Dazzling Blue, and I'm just gonna fill in a little cactus at a time with the, oh look, I cheated, I did two. I told you what I was gonna do and then I did something else. So I'm gonna do the 2 smaller cactuses. And then I am just gonna pounce again with my brush, and I am just using the crystal drops to create like a really cool texture-y, because it's gonna dry as thick as you apply it. So with this being like a nature background, it's gonna look cool and glittery, and it's gonna have that texture to it. So that's why I'm working with these for this card instead of using our glue and our glitter, because I wanted to show you different uses for your totally awesome crystal drops with the glitter in them. And like I said, it dries clear, but when you first apply it, it has a little bit more of a cloudy adhesive in it. But it does not dry like that. It dries totally clear, and then you could see the colors of the glitter, which is just beautiful. So I'm just gonna pounce that around. If you go out of the lines, you can use like your fingernail tool or a little craft knife to push it back in, but I'm not that picky. So if a little blue glitter is on my sunset, I'm okay with that. Then they know it's handmade, right? Okay. My last cactus, and I'm doing everything for you guys. Instead of finishing it off camera or just doing one. I'm showing you guys the whole card because I've been asked for that in the past. Can you do the whole card instead of fast forward? So here I am doing the whole card. So you have the opportunity to fast forward if you get the point you need to move on. So you see that really beautiful gloss as well as the shimmery glitter, and then you also get the texture. So that really takes any digital paper and really makes it pop. So I know people sometimes have like concerns about using digital and it not looking like super handmade. This is a way amongst many other ways, but this is a really fun way to still be creative on your digital paper. So once I'm done with that, I'm gonna set that aside, let that dry. It is like 90 degrees in my room because I have all the windows shut because my neighbors are playing cornhole very loudly. So we're just gonna ignore them. Okay, next what I've done, your beautiful little dream catcher Maiden. I chose the already pre-colored Digi stamps so we don't have to spend an hour coloring all that beautiful detail, which was already done for us by the wonderful designer. Thank you. So I just went ahead and did a really quick fussy cut. If you don't like fussy cutting, you can just leave it square if you want, which is absolutely fine and still will look amazing on your card. And now we're going to do painting with our glitter drops again. So like I said, you get all 4 colors. So I'm going to start with the pink champagne. Yes, please. And I'm going to just do a line on all of my pink feathers. Add a little line of glitter. And over on my pink beads on my dream catcher. And on the little flowers up there. And then I'm going to take my thin paintbrush and just kind of pounce it around, just like we did with the cacti background. So I'm going to do my flowers. I'm going to leave the beads as an actual bead so you don't have to press those down. But we're just adding a really cool glittery, and dimensional bit to our digital stamp. All right, so for the next color, I'm going to rinse that off. I'm just using water. I'm just dipping into some water to rinse my brush. I'm going to use the Emerald City. And I've got a green feather hanging down in the middle here and a green feather here. And there's a green bead right there. And I'm actually going to use my green to like accent these other tiny little dots in the center. Then I'm going to pounce over my feathers. Feathers, luckily, are a natural element, so they don't have to be perfect and completely covered with glitter evenly. It could be blotty and natural looking, a more organic look to it. And then I'm going to take the pink, oh no, sorry, I'm going to do this guy. Got a little confused, it happens. Chocolate fondue, yum. These are all making me hungry. Don't eat your crystal drops. Just a big FYI. Don't do it. Don't put pink champagne in your champagne. I'm going to add to those this one here. She also has a cute little bracelet on, which I think will be obviously better with glitter on it. I'm going to take my paintbrush and just push those around. Such a beautiful stamp. It's so fun, and this will be such a great everyday card just to brighten somebody's day, cheer them up. Someone heading off to school or getting a new job. Really fun, very versatile. And I am going to just add a little sparkle to that guy there. And then you are also getting the Dazzling Blue, which we've used several times. And I'm just going to go ahead, you no longer need your brush unless you want to move it around. And I'm just going to add a little sparkle and dimension to all of our beads. So this is a nice sparkly card. We're really accentuating all of the really beautiful detail on this stamp. I can't wait to see all the different beautiful ideas that our designers have with it for our stamp reveal. So make sure you tune in to that, which should be around the 15th of the month. And there is our complete stamp design. Now you are going to want to let that dry. Now depending on how thick your dimension is, you're going to want to let that dry for a little while. So because I did some of the beads like popped up a little higher, I'm going to probably want to at least let that sit for like an hour. Maybe not even an hour, maybe a half an hour, because it's pretty hot in here. See, this is already all dry. So now I'm going to layer my card backing, and I'm just going to take some of our Tearific tape. And I could have waited a little bit longer for that to dry, or I could have pre-made one and it would be dry by now, but I didn't do that. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed that this isn't going to be completely blue. Not too bad. We have a couple of smudges, but I'm not that picky. Do you hear my neighbors playing cornhole? Maybe you guys can't hear that. They're very excited. All right, trim off your edges. And now I'm going to remove the backing. I'm going to use my little scraps for the sides. Remove the backing and adhere that onto my card. Okay, luckily that comes off easily. Stick that down. Now to layer this, I am just going to even it up from the bottom and just hope for the best on the top. So stick that down. There we go. So now I've got my background. Oh, such a gorgeous sunset with sparkles. We saw a lot of this driving through Nevada, Arizona this summer. Next, we're going to take our beautiful border here. I'm going to flip that over again. Add my Tearific tape, or you can use your craft adhesive. Stick a little there and a little there, and I am using the 1/2 inch Tearific tape, which is my go-to. It's a great size. And now we're going to stick this down here. Now this is the same image, it's just the negative version. You can take time and cut and size to make it line up with the cactus. I'm not going to be that picky. I just trimmed it and now I'm going to set it on there so you could see here where like it's not lining up to the cactus above it. I kind of worked on that a little bit more here with the first one, the sample that I did, but I was okay with just cutting them and having the strips ready to go. So now we are going to add our feathers. So what you're going to want to do, making sure your beautiful shimmery guy is all dry. So what you're going to want to do, so we're pretending this because my guy is not dry. What you're going to want to do is add some Tearific tape to the backing. So I just went all along the edge and added just little pieces of Tearific tape. That's my foam dot in the middle that I stuck on there when I was playing with it to pop it. So here is a large feather. Your bag may consist of 10 small feathers, 5 large feathers, but that'll be enough per card. You can go ahead and give these a snip and then really layer them. What I'm going to avoid doing is putting any feathers on this corner so it doesn't cover up my seine. So flip that back over, now you know this is the corner you don't want your feathers. And I'm going to stick that guy there, maybe trim that again, and have a little feather sticking out on that side. And then one more time. Oh, that was the side I didn't want feathers. You guys were supposed to remind me. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to add a little extra. All right, added a couple more pop dots. Just make sure you move your feathers out of the way or they're not going to stick. So you can just kind of push them away and stick your little dimensional adhesive down. And I went ahead and switched out for my Dreamcatcher Maiden that we already add. These are nice and dry now, so a little movie magic. Make sure yours are fully dry before you flip them over and add your pop dots and your feathers. All right, and then your last thing to do is just go ahead and adhere this to your card front. And then there you go. You could see the beautiful glitter textured cactus, your little accents with your silver gilding flakes, and see how that background, you just get a nice little bit of sparkle, just a little bit of difference. And we are using this stamp set. You can also check out our Digi papers. And I want to show you 2 cards that I got in time from our amazing designers. Like I said, this one I got my inspiration from, and this is from Belinda Shoop, and she did a fantastic job. Check out her blog at Sparkle and Sprinkle, and then you can go to the blogs. And this is from Erit, which is just gorgeous as well. I love all the glitter. She used her glitter pen, and I'll be showing more cards on the 15th of the month when we reveal all of our new stamps. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you're having a wonderful summer, and we'll see you soon.